Everybody, this is episode 31, Constant Elevation. Myself, tomorrow, my legendary co-host, Brother Jay, X-Clan, Brooklyn, New York City. And this is our build. We do this the first Wednesday of every month. It's based on hip-hop, but we go much deeper than that. And we don't just talk music or anything here. You know, it's really about some real shit related to our culture. All of our past joints are on the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel, all 30 episodes. Some solid important information on there for you to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. So, and the other thing is, real quick, if you guys have questions, please try to keep it related to what we're talking about, because that way it just helps everybody out in the building. We can kind of all, move through this together. It's a structured thing. We're not taking requests to go live or anything like that. So, the topic. Oh, look, I can't wait to hear what you got to say about this. So, we're discussing hip hop at 50. So, supposedly it's hip hop 50th.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that. Get your take on it and stuff. And so, how I wanted to do it was kind of got three areas I want to look at, and then get your take on some things, and obviously add on as you feel free. But there's a few things I wanted to hear what you had to say. You ready to rock?
I'm ready to go.
All right. So, like I said, everyone, please use the question feature if you want to ask anything specific about what we're talking about. All right. So, hip hop at 50. So let me ask you a question at first, man. When the calendar year changed, I didn't wake up on January 1st and be like, wow, hip hop's 50 years old. Like, I didn't even think about it until people started talking about it and saying we're celebrating. I was like, oh, word, all right. Because for me, I don't recall ever calling it hip hop until like the late 90s. We just got up and I went out and I wrote. I went out and I went to the studio with my friends. We had ciphers.
Right.
We just did it, right? So I didn't even think about like, oh, hip hop at 50. Like, I didn't do that. So where were you when have you your approach to that?
You already know.
I don't
you already know.
know. I mean, because sometimes you throw me off. I do want to say that. Sometimes I'll come into a building. I'm thinking, all right, I have a feeling, we were rocking for like 3 years now. So I feel like, all right, I'll come in and have an idea, and then you go left with me. So
Right.
Where you?
All right. So for one, who dictates what 50th year or 20th year and all of that thing? That's the first thing we got to analyze. Like, whose clock are we counting on? Are we counting on the doubters' clocks who thought it was a fad and then found out it was a business? Are we talking about when labels finally believed in it enough to not have it as a subdivision and then have it as a main situation and shit? Def Jam was a small wing. Now they run the entire shit with a major behind them. You know what I'm saying? So, whose hip hop are we celebrating at 50? I was surprised. I've been in the game for a minute since I was a kid, man. But, it's not every year that you go and hip hop's birthday today. I'm not on it like that. For one, you know what I'm saying? I feel that the hip hop should always be celebrated with realness. And this is what we've been talking about on this show. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be looking at all this BET and all this other stuff, the way they oversaturated the game, man, is disrespectful. So how you come back and give love all of a sudden, why all of a sudden is this dude and that dude on stage when you was parading all the foolishness around for the longest time, man? I mean, dog, who's 50th are we celebrating, man? That's where I'm at, dog. I'm not on it like that. I post the photos up to, I play well with others. So, if it's something that we all doing together and we agree upon this, like, okay, we celebrating, but, whose hip hop are we celebrating? Are you trying to mix this new situation in with us and start doing songs and shit and Rakim and Kodak or some shit? What the fuck are y'all trying to do? That shit didn't work with me with Nas and Nas X. So what would you try to blend into an understanding of 50 years? Look, think about it like this, like the NBA right now, when they did the 75 and greatest and all of that shit, and they had to snub a lot of good players. You don't have a lot of room to give love to hip hop. You know, and this is something I was stating when I was doing Red Pill, because I was like, if there's something not celebrating the artists that people don't really know, I know the artists that niggas bite from that are not in the mainstream of things. So, you know, that was an avenue for me to start exposing different shit so we can understand each other's hip hop, because it's starting to become like a strange philosophy on what people think hip hop is. You know, a lot of people just support rap music, but don't know what hip hop is. They never really tasted the real grit of hip hop. This became something like the rainbow being passed on and doing other things now. So y'all kind of pass hip hop like that on as well. So, you know, like I said, I politically, I play with it. You know, I put up people that I feel is real to the game. You know, people who have evolved. When I post pictures and put 50th hip hop, you know, on my personal page and shit. But, you know, I'm not in here to celebrate clown shit, you know, and not to diss the new generation, because that's not it at all. You know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? If the frequency is always low itself, man, that's not the kind of hip hop that I fuck with. Right. And I wouldn't even want to blend that. I'm still offended that, you know, Lil' Kim and Prince were on the same list for a trophy. You know what I'm saying? I'm still offended there. So what is it now? You gonna celebrate 50 years of hip hop, and now all of that R&B hip hop that was like, you know, just a corny fad to fuse because either one was strong enough to go where, you know, where country music is gone and all of these other things. You feel me? So everybody hip hop ain't the same. I didn't mean to stretch it out far, but
you just went through all the notes and shit. But that's all good. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back though. So check it, because you said like, first of all, whose hip hop are we celebrating, right? Yeah. And so, yeah. And so, first of all, shout out to Kool Herc. We have to put I shouldn't say we have to. I get it. We want to put a year on something. We like to have shit nice and neat. All right, we want to put a year on it. Okay, but the shit was going on well before 73. Like, right. It just was. And so I guess we recognize the first party or whatever, or not first party, but the first party that got, often the shit that gets recognized isn't the first thing that happened, right? I mean, we know that. Right. So, like, that's usually, you're in the right place at the right time. So,
and that's key what you just said, because everybody wasn't invited to where real hip hop was going. All right? Where it was coming from. You're not going to the basements of Brooklyn. You're not going to the back streets of Cali and all these places where all the real ciphers and shit was going on. So where y'all think it started commercially or whatever, that's when y'all media got hooked up to that, you know, and had the privilege to start coming into some of these houses or inviting some of the bigger names. But, you know, man, this is like ancient science, dog. A lot of people weren't invited to go and look inside the pyramids to really see what's happening. So their BC and AD is different from, you know, the permission that we already naturally have. Right. You know what I'm saying? As cream of the earth, my lord. So as cream of the earth with hip hop, my lord, they don't know where it started. They wouldn't be putting this is like Juneteenth, like mind your business.
Yeah.
You know? It never been y'all business when cats was taking off work and doing their barbecues and doing whatever they wanted to as a black situation. And now you got people just stamping their face on it and white folks stamping it. I mean, what are we talking about here? So, you know, what is hip hop now? You're going to start putting all these artists that just made a lot of money in the fluff of things. Y'all playing with numbers and trying to make cats more popular to keep y'all brands alive. And that's supposed to judge what kind of hip hop we really fuck with from the streets. You know what I'm saying? A lot of names that will never be mentioned in these places. So we have to stop depending. We got to get off the corporate tip, man, and just really, you know, stop waiting for their trophies and permission and shit like that, bro. It's just straight up obvious. They're not going to include your music. You continue to stuff hard drives with music and never be able to release them. Fuck all the distro kid and all of that. You know you want to be signed to something that's good. If you play ball, you want to be signed to the best team you could possibly reach for. So why would you play like, yo, it's cool, me at home just beating myself off to my joints and shit, nigga? You know you want that shit out there. But this devilish system is not going to allow that to happen. No. And then when you do it for years and years, you can't even be celebrated. You never even got a chance to really show your craft. We were all young kids back then and everybody wasn't exceptional. So by the time niggas got it, they wasn't throwing budgets to spoil you anymore and move you around in limousines and foolishness, man. So a lot of cats blew it and never really got to see their talent go to the heights. So who are we honoring? Are we honoring the cats that inspired? Or are we honoring the fact that a couple people just ride Big L's dick out of Queens or some shit and Bambaataa and them up in the Bronx or whatever? I'm from Brooklyn, man. I don't really, you know, I don't celebrate other boroughs because I didn't really witness what's happening. And boroughs are like teams. You're always gonna rep your team to the highest. So there's a lot of dick riding in hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It's outrageous, my lord. So you think who's writing the books? Whose team is writing the books? You know what I'm saying? Just like we should always, oh man, Kool Herc and the rest of them did whatever. Nah, man, somebody in Brooklyn was doing that too. You know, I fuck with Grandmaster Flowers out of Brooklyn, and I'm sure somebody in Cali wasn't waiting for Herc and them to come and bless the turf and shit to say, yo, you're hip hop now. Who did it for y'all? So everybody's 50 is not gonna be the same. You know, them lists and the way that they're doing that shit in on these shows, y'all not putting a lot of West Coast cats on. Y'all not putting a lot of Midwest cats on. And even now, the South, you know, as far as how they're powerful right now, there were cats that were in the game playing with others before it became just like trap and we run it. There was cats that Outcasts and stuff like that that y'all are not going to mention or not going to honor the way that they're supposed to be honored. People who really broke the shit, you know. So I don't, you know, there's not enough room, and I don't blame it on the people that are doing it. You can only include but so many. You know, I hear outrageous shows right now, like 50 artists performing, like you an audience nigga getting punished to watch 50 artists go by, sing 1 or 2 songs and shit. You there to the wee hours for what, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? We don't even have the, you know, the power to go ahead and create something that cats can come on and get their just due, man. Come on. And, you know, I've been on it like that, God. You know what I'm saying? I was bringing up people that are still alive. I wasn't digging up the graveyard, you know, as my teacher would say. You know, I was finding people that still love it, but just hate the system of what it has become. So the cats that I'm picking, I'm never stepping on nobody's toes at all because niggas don't really understand lyricism and shit. You know, they be oohing and ahhing over crazy shit. So the 50 that they would celebrate, I may not celebrate, man, and I'm cool on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm cool on that. You can't include X-Clan and a lot of that shit, man, because, you know, we were messengers, dog. We were just saying that hip hop is a cool vehicle to say what we feel on our heart as we out here in these streets, defending our streets. We weren't killing our streets. We was defending it. So the way we use hip hop is different. So the people that I would celebrate would be people who wrote like that. I wouldn't celebrate all the fad shit that we don't fuck with no more, dog. When you get older, like, damn, I was listening to that. There's a lot of that, dog.
There is.
You know, a lot of cats, and we was, oh, he's nice, and you go back, damn, that was a stupid ass line. Yeah. You know, that was some dumb shit. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, real shit. You know, the quality of hip hop. Who's A&R'ing when you say, yo, this is 50 years and these are the absolute best? Who's A&R'ing that, dog?
Nobody that we fuck with, right?
Basically.
That goes back to what you were saying about, you know, here as far as the corporate thing goes, right? Yeah. I looked at this and I'm saying, like, I saw like Hot 97 putting on the joint.
Right.
And I'm like, they don't care. It's a money grab. Any institution, like, so I feel like everybody got all nostalgic and sentimental about Hip Hop 50, and motherfuckers are capitalizing on that. Like, oh, we can throw the show. Because I don't see any of these corporations and businesses like being a part of our culture. Yeah, I see corporate sponsors on these flyers.
Right.
But are you serious? Like, yeah. They're not part. I mean, I see some weird, like Procter Gamble. I mean, and shit like that. Like,
right.
Come on.
Certain people shouldn't be allowed to fuck with hip hop, man.
Facts.
Okay. Certain sponsors who close their eyes to where their airtime dollars go should not be saying shit when it comes to hip hop, man. And there's some of these promoters as well. Some promoters should just sit the fuck down, man, because they didn't really have the true faith. And if so, there would be a better Chitlin circuit after the COVID than ever. if promoters really believed in hip hop, dog. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the underground is down right now, my nigga, because there used to be such a flow of shows. A lot of cats took that COVID money, sold out, and said, "Man, I don't want to deal with the headache." But the other side of that sword is you got to be loyal. You know what I'm saying? When they have Lollapalooza, they know they're gonna get 20,000 people plus whatever the fuck, because there's loyalty. We don't have loyalty enough to kind of make a stand to say this is the kind of hip hop that we fuck with. We don't have that consistency and that loyalty, dog. So it's hard for people. Why do you think they had to merge R&B and hip hop, man? Because if you depend on what the streets feel is what's cracking and whatnot, man, you're gonna be changing up all the fucking time. They never get enough. One week they like OG, next week I like Purple, next week I like Sour Diesel, nigga. And when you trying to build the industry and a brand, dog, you can't be switching up all the fucking time like that, man. People just feel like, like whatever. So you gotta be loyal. If we say, yo, our kind of hip hop don't do Bobby Brown type hooks and shit like that, and this is what the fuck it is. So you would have a place for Sean P and Duck Down and and niggas in the West, like freestyle fellowships and shit like that, to get lyrics off. We should have created our own division so spoken word can get respect for lyricism. There's a lot of different elements in hip hop, more so than just jingle rapping. So when you go to honor the game, who you're going to honor? You're going to honor people who have done lyrics that you can still feel good about as a grown person. That means that has been multi-generational as far as its endurance, rather than something that was cool when I was a kid. I came on your couch, now you got Siemens furniture or some stupid shit. That's like, and I'm not dissing the God, respect to Fife and all, but it's cool when you're in high school and you one of them kind of niggas. I'm not that kind of dude. It's not my kind of, line to kick when I'm 50 years old, like, son, you got to listen to this. This was the shit. Right. So we made a lot of mistakes, coming up. And this is shit that we go crazy. So the market thinks, hey, this is what they like. Keep talking like that, and they'll fuck around. And then another nigga comes up with a dumb line, and another nigga comes up with a dumb line. Then we got a genre that's full of kiddie shit. I even tell producers, God, I say, yo, man, who you making hip hop for? You making hip hop for the around the way girl or the worldly woman? You know what I'm saying? At this stage in your game, right. You going to a club, what you going to, talk to the lollipop with the shit, or you gonna be talking to the elegant goodness that niggas can't get with? You want that challenge. Right. If your lyrics are fluff, my dog, that's what you're gonna attract is fluff. So there is no market for power hip hop like that. So you do play well with others, but we don't have to compromise what we feel hip hop is, man. There's a lot of people who are untrue to the code. It's supposed to be something I can pass generationally, and it's not that. I wouldn't pass Megan Thee Stallion to my daughter and say, yo, man, get up with the lyrics. I don't give a fuck who you are and what the internet says or whatever. I wouldn't pass that to my daughter and say, what's up? I wouldn't pass that to my woman and say, yo, take this. This is the guidelines to what's happening. This is what the real bitches is doing, or whatever the fuck they label women nowadays. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So how can we celebrate that? Now, when they say 50 years, they look at her success, she's going to be top 10. You forgot Lauren. You forgot Jean Grey. You forgot a gang of female lyricists that are dope.
Latifah, MC Light, Bahamadia. Yeah,
but those are the first names they call. Like when you say black, you say Malcolm Martin. But they don't know about the gritty, the ones that was better than them, the ones that they were going to the clubs to see to get their styles from. That's why I rock with Medusa so hard. I remember people coming to her club, man, to study her. How you dope like this and got a full band, and then next week you do a 2-piece band and rock, and then the next one you doing solo with a DJ. She was so flexible and rocked the whole time and filled the place up every time. Fado Do's on Adams. And now, more so than a local legend, your consistency has dragged people from the hills to come down to the damn near hood to stand in this tight-ass club to see what the fuck everybody's talking about. Now, when you got legends like that, you got to salute them. You're not going to salute that on no BET stage. You're not going to salute that and have 50 artists performing on no fucking stage, and you're going to give them people like one song to sing, or sing your song, sing your verse in the hook and get off, nigga.
Right. You
trying to cap off the crowd and get that $50, $100 and shit for some bullshit. We should be able to enjoy the artist in full. Keep your bread up instead of spending it, rotate it, and keep giving the people what the fuck it is if you really down with hip hop like that.
One thing I wanted to get into, so we got the corporations and the businesses that don't really go fucking, they're like, oh, money opportunity, let's go. And then I feel like you have a lot of people climbing out of the crevices like maggots that haven't been a part of this shit in a long fucking time. And like weasels, they're just, hey, here we are, 50th anniversary of hip hop, and it's some maggot shit to me, man. Like that's only work.
That's the people you leave at home.
Huh?
That's the people you leave at home.
Because that's very disingenuous to me.
Yes, it is, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't appreciate that, because there's people. So here's the thing: on our show, we have legendary people like yourself. We have Drez. We have big names, and then we have underground people that nobody's ever heard of. And I always say on our show is dope because even if you never heard of them, they put in that work.
Correct.
And so it's like we have people that are telling stories about they were around just because they're not the chalk list, like the blue blood names of hip hop, like we, you know what I'm saying, your Kentuckys and Dukes and shit.
Right.
Then it's like, oh, so it's just disingenuous for me, man, when like you got people just crawling out of the garbage that basically even said, you can probably find quotes where they said they retired from this shit. Oh, I'm done with this shit. And
correct. Because they saw no future in the fake ass shit that they were producing. So it's like, hey, my style is played out now. The topic I was talking about is played out now. So I better just bow the fuck out. Now, if you true to your craft, you was doing this before making records. You can see who the manufacturer is and the ones who was truly doing that shit. Like, yo, I was doing this before you. You were a fly on the wall.
Right.
I didn't come to you and mold my shit to the label, nigga. Now you get to see who's manufactured and who's not. All right? When I go on Kwame's site and I see that motherfucker flowing, I don't see Polka Dot Man from back in the days. All right? And they judge him like he was, cracking this R&B, hip hop or whatever. But I said, yo, that dude got flows. And to see him in 2023 still busting bars, dog, that's someone who love it. You're not manufactured to come and say, do this, do this, do this. He was doing his own look in his own fashion. He wasn't dressing his shit up. Now niggas who come after him will be manufacturing, riding his dick and getting paper or whatever the case may be. And now as the game grows in money, okay, and you say, hey, you got the youth, you got the this and that, you remind me of Kwame back in the days, let's give you this money. You fucking giving money to the manufactured shit and not going back to the original nigga to say, yo, won't you help us find the next you, or do you have an evolved side to your shit? You go back to the roots of shit. This business is backwards. Y'all picking like young slave, old slave type shit. When I'm watching Mick Jagger and Metallica, 50 years, 60 years and shit, fucking doing music and shit, man. Come on, man. If it's still in your heart, man, and you ain't never let that shit go, you still in the lab on your own power, man. Those motherfuckers should be honored, man. Especially if their style grew up. Right. People like De La Soul, their style grew up.
Right, because it wasn't always about. It wasn't always
about
that earlier, as far as like, ideally your shit's gonna change, right? Because we talked about this. I said you should get better as you get older.
Correct.
Your vocabulary should be more extensive. Your life experiences are there. You got more shit. You got kids, family, maybe divorce, all types of shit, right? Heartbreak, all types of things. So you're not rhyming about cutting class no more, right? You know what I mean? I really, and even if you look at some of Tribe's music, like, rest in peace, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 was a more mature. I mean, they're not 16 no more, right? We're not in class, cutting school or whatever. So
Correct.
it's an important thing as far as maturing as an artist. So yeah, good point with that.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. These cats at some point thought that they were working too hard and then simplified the game. I said, y'all haven't even stepped up deep enough and matured, but you're going to go backwards. Some of y'all work too hard because you saw a couple of jingles slip through the cracks and become successful.
Right.
The reason they fuck with Lil Wayne is different from the reason they fuck with a Pharoah Monch.
Exactly. And it's totally different audience, man. You know what I'm saying?
Totally different audience. But people just want to be popular, so they feel like I want it all. I'm Beyonce, nigga. I want everybody to like me and shit. No, nigga. You gotta pick your audience. Right. All right? You stick to what the fuck you say you miss so much and stop that bullshit. And I'm not saying don't listen to any of it because I listen to music, period. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good shit in this new generation too. I don't diss it, but there is a goofy agenda that really takes the learning curve backwards, dog. It's just like, and it has to be balanced with some kind of intelligence. There's no market for power lyricists, dog. There's no reason that Slaughterhouse should have had to go somewhere to be signed. They should have been running the underground, and their beat should have stayed underground and not Slim Shady. You know what I'm saying? But to get that meal ticket and those consistent shows, there is a market and a sound. So you got to know where you want to be at, or you're going to get tangled and you're going to end up just like they ended up. And that was a dope group, but it's too much room for ego. This is an ego game. You come in building on ego shit as a regular basic MC. I'm dope. My car is this. My girl is whatever. You building on ego shit. But now when you put the building into it, dog, you imagine now you got to be what you speak. You got to be the man you speak. That's different. Niggas don't want that. Niggas don't want that. Niggas don't want that because they got to be reminded of the slack they live in, dog. The females love it. I have a stronger female audience than male audience, dog.
I believe
because
that.
The females read and the females study and the females get all into the crevice of the information, dog. And it should be balanced.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing that I wanted to point out as we were talking about this, man, is that these types of things like the 50th anniversary of hip hop or these big things that come up, it makes me realize and remember that some people were never really a part of this to begin with.
Correct.
On the surface, it looked like it, and everybody was kind of doing the same thing. But just because everybody's doing the same thing doesn't mean the heart is in the right place and the intention's in the right place. And so I'm like, oh, you was never really about it anyway. I mean, even if you were talented at rhyming or whatever, that don't mean you're about hip hop. There's a lot of motherfuckers that can rhyme. That doesn't mean they're about hip hop. There's a lot of people. I've seen b-boys, people break dance, crazy, but they have no fuck about hip hop or anything like that. So that's what I'm really doing, is that a lot of people never gave a fuck to begin with.
And why should they be the ones who put it on the platform? A lot of those corporations thought it was a fad that would fade off. And as the other music genres started picking from it, you know, the rock beat started getting more defined drum pattern wise. You know, country started to get a little extra twang on it and shit, enough to slide a couple of black artists, Lil Hootie, Blowfish, and all kind of different shit. Everybody started taking little pieces as the drum track started getting louder and more bap and shit.
He said rap. A Blowfish.
You know what I'm saying? When you can slide black flavor into any genre of music, they're gonna bring a breakbeat type of platform to this shit, bro. And now you're taking elements from that, even start rhyming. You know, look at a Linkin Park and different cats who rhyme and sing and that kind of shit and whatnot. And it's like y'all take little bits of it, and then you take the main hip hop itself and you make it look nasty and twerking and foolishness and stupid. All right, you put us out there as receipt, like, yo, you didn't want it. All y'all want to talk about is pussy and bullshit. But over here, he has a dope song about his mother, and he did it in a hip hop rap and his country singing, and look at over here in classical, they got the beats rocking, and she's doing the Alicia Keys on top of it and all kind of crazy shit. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. They've already raped the game and made us look stupid because we as the gatekeepers didn't stand up to say, yo, that's rap.
Right.
This is hip hop.
Right.
You know, that's the one thing I powerfully agree with when KRS say the rap and the hip hop division. But, you know, at one time it was like saying black and African. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, you know they won, but they are different. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you telling people don't straddle the fence, but what side of the fence do I sit on? Is it the African or the black? Right. Is it the hip hop or the rap? Yeah, and I think that's why we can't make a 50, because you're going to be mixing rap niggas with hip hop.
Because there's a difference between Africans and black folk. Facts.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? We're not the same.
So how could they make the list the same with the hip hop and the rap? So you're gonna say Macklemore, and then say Pharoah Monch, and you're gonna say Ultramagnetic MCs, and then what you gonna say House of Pain. You know, how are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? How are you doing and counting all of these years, 50 years, to start making these ridiculous lists? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, where y'all coming from? The success and the money, right, the skill. You know, even the consumers are confused. So how could you, you know, feed into these lists and things like that when you don't even know what it is? Somebody in Iowa somewhere, you know, probably witnessed hip hop in a whole different fashion. Ain't no Kool Herc, ain't no none of that shit. You know, what's their favorite hip hop dudes? Who would they put on the list? You know what I'm saying? And these are things that, you know, there's no one hip hop for everybody, bro. I think they should just leave the list and shit alone and just find a way to celebrate the elements, man, as much as they can. And that's why I say playing well with others. You know, right, maybe right. I just got to let it mix and just show glimpses. And people got computers on their hip now, man. Do your homework. You know what I'm saying? And really listen and find out to where that real hip hop is, and just know what you're saluting. If it's rap, salute the rap. If it's hip hop, salute the hip hop in that, man. And just, you know, we don't have no time to bicker and go through these games anymore, because it don't matter. At the end of the day, the genre has been used and raped and fucked up for a long fucking time. And it's either we gonna heal it by, you know, creating something new, planting a new seed in the ground, or just, like I said, play well with others, man.
Right. I mean, you know what's interesting too, that you were bringing up, like how hip hop or rap, they've taken elements of it and put in other music. So Taylor Swift, only about 7-8 years ago, had a song, and she had b-boys in it doing all this shit. So hip hop and our music is the only culture and only genre of music where it seems like people feel like anybody can do it. We can rap. I can just do that. Like Steph Curry just is on some shit. You know, they got niggas out here like, so it's like, that's a thing where it's like everybody takes from our shit. And so it's like, for some reason, people do not respect, because it seems like maybe we don't respect ourselves.
Right.
They respect our shit. And they look at it like, I can do that. Anybody can do that.
Right. Right.
You got like, everybody and their mother's a rapper right now. Like,
yeah, no doubt. Because after a while, they figured out, I don't need to do that. I can just do the shit around it. So I don't have to write like you, number one, Jadakiss, such and such and such. I just do the hooks. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the Benjamins. That's all they want. They figured that shit out. And we thinking like, yo, pay me top dollar, nigga. I'm the best nigga in New York, nigga. I'm the best nigga and whatever. Nah, nigga, we'll take one of your nephews with the little beat machine on his watch and shit. You know, give him some limelight, move him around a little bit, make him a star, and less headache. Sign him to a 360 deal. Fuck paying you overwriting rappers, half-ass poets and shit on beats. That's how they looked at niggas with bars. That's what the industry says right now. These niggas ain't rhyming. They ain't rhyming till later. All they music is basically, look, you don't even understand what the fuck Future's saying, dog. That nigga be sound like a fucking, like a country robot, dog. And that nigga makes so much money.
Catchy, it's quick. I mean, and then here's the thing. And like, it hits a frequency where like you got that shit in your head or whatever, like stick it, flip it, rip it, whatever, yo, all this shit, man. It's like,
hey, bro, they look, you chose black people to find the frequency of what people respond to, you know, and then you alter it and make it some new shit, and it's a monstrosity. How do you follow up when a record that makes a nigga sound like a fucking computer and it blows up? How do you push vocal signature after that? How do you make a singer's vocal?
Not when that's blowing up. Like, why
Correct.
would you?
You make a singer who can't sing, you make their voice perfect on the apps and the machines, and then you expect a real singer with real range and real breathing and shit to come in. How do they compete with that?
There it is. There it is. We had Blue Raspberry on, famous Wu-Tang songstress, Rainy Days, killing it. She sang for us on the show. She can sing. And she's frustrated with the game, right? Her game, right? Because it's like she's looking at people, she's looking at chicks get on or whatever that cannot sing. And it's the crazy part about it is like you got like, so here's the thing. I can sing if you take a thing and put it on my voice or whatever. We all can.
Correct.
Brother Baker, you could be Luther, nigga.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I say they figured it out. I don't need to rap like you. All right? I can rap what you got around. I'll take the frosting, nigga. You can have the cake. Right. All they want to do is lick the frosting, my nigga. They don't even want cake. Right. That's what the fuck is going on.
I'll wait till you finish. Me the bowl. I'll lick the shit out the bowl.
That is correct. And now they selling frosting to niggas.
As cake. As cake.
Yeah.
As a full, as
they even putting cake in the shit no more, nigga.
Tiramisu. Like, you know what I mean?
They putting all frosting now, nigga. It's like crazy now and shit. Look at this Tekashi 9 and all of this other shit. I'm like, you know, I'm surprised somebody like that was running through Brownsville. I'm like, damn, Brownsville, dog. Like, you know, niggas should be terrified going that way, man. You can get like the Skittles, goblins and shit running out and superstars and shit. And we stamp this. When you live in environments like that, you stamp that like this is hood approved. You know what I'm saying? So all of the accolades and shit that's coming in, now you're gonna make this nigga the #1 rap artist in the fucking world. Because yes, in that commercial world, he made the sacrifices to be #1 rap. But in hip hop, he does not even rank.
Well, the thing with that was, I mean, and I definitely don't ask me about Tekashi's bio, but the one thing I do understand was that was just all bread that he was just giving the niggas. I mean, like, so you know, niggas in the hood was like, all right, so we'll big up this cat and whatever, you know what I mean? Like we'll pump him up, but that was just because he was forking over the bread. So which unfortunately speaks to cats these days in terms of their consciences, because back in the day, niggas been like, yo, you a corny nigga, I ain't fucking with you, get the fuck up out of here.
And that's where it's at.
Right?
That's why I said the brothers have to deal with this, man, because we feminize the gatekeeper shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like we just let whatever, and then we're victim to turning it up because it's goofy enough for the sisters to get involved. You know, the sisters want to have fun, so if it make you laugh and yeah, all the little crazy shit when they drinking they shit, you thinking like, oh shit, I like this. This doesn't make her get serious and, you know, see my lack of king in my shit and so on. You know, we got to get out of that, dog. You know, and that way it all can be one. We can go out and enjoy ourselves as adults and not be stuck in that mode. Niggas go to the club and get stuck for the whole year, my nigga, acting like that. You know what I'm saying? We backwards now. Yeah, word. Stuck. Exactly, fam. How do you go to the club and get stuck for a lifetime, dog? And you live in that, never turn down, never have a serious moment to reflect on anything else. Come on, man. It's
we
like
lit, though. We lit.
Yeah,
we
bro.
Lit, though.
Exactly, and that's all that counts. You know, we lit. We popping. We outside. All that bullshit. Come on, man.
Pull up. We outside. Yo,
yeah, man.
Real quick, so before, because it's already 8:45, and I want to definitely touch on this aspect here. So we touched on the historical aspect of how hip hop definitely started before 73. And what are we celebrating? We touched on the business corporate aspect of the institutions don't really care. It's a money grab for them. And that there's also people coming out of the woodwork that are everybody's trying to capitalize off of this sentimental thing. Right. So I wanted to get into the culture aspect, right? First of all, I'm going to address these comments here. Someone said hip hop definitely needs X9 right now. Brother Jay, so this is the thing about right now. Brother Jay is putting out music. Brother Jay just put out a show last year that should have been done bigger numbers than it did because we promoted and pushed it very hard. So fuck with Brother Jay then, because he is still doing stuff. This isn't just some like one-off build. Right. We have a monthly show. Brother Jay's doing his thing. We're going to take it to another level soon. So he's making music and he's doing his thing and he's still being a messenger whether people are hearing it or not. There's so many frequencies, I mean, there's so many channels now to hear shit. So it's not like you turn on BT and Brother Jay's there now. You look for Brother Jay. So if you want real shit like this, come here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
brother.
And fuck with us, yo, because we're here every month and we do this all the time. And Brother Jay he's not one of these old cats that's like sleeping and resting on laurels and saying, back in '88, Sonny, I put out, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I got on me, but you were like, yo, here's some new shit to pump for the promo.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Because we gotta keep reinventing ourselves, man.
Because there's comments like, oh, we need X-Clan right now. X-Clan's here right now. Yeah. X-Clan never left.
Yeah, man. But you know, but they're right, because I have not chose a platform because of the very discussion that we're talking about right now. Because that where do you put this kind of music out where there can be support? You know, so I tested it with things like a pay-per-view and, you know, to see where the core audience is at, because it takes a lot to continue to push music. This is why people don't do it. Studio time is not free when you do it correctly. You know, so record at home and just throw it out to the stream, man. You got to put in the elements. So, you know, so you got to really know. So they can't go and just capture my shit. Sometimes I just give gifts to my people and there's no record. It's just a video that I did on my compound yard or some shit just to give love. You know, I was walking through my brother's, you know, flower field and whatnot, man, and just got the camera, you know, on a good day, man, and just vibed out and shit. I don't, you know, I'm not looking for, yo, buy this and buy this, buy that. You know, when it's time for that, it's time for that, when you got to buy a ticket or a T-shirt or whatever, man. But it's not like that all the time for me, my Lord. And that's why I say you can see the manufactured and the ones who really love it.
Right.
The underground cats, this is how they were living, you know, some of them. You know what I'm saying? And those who had their jobs and did the, you know, and did the stage life or whatever case may be. So I've watched a lot of people continue to work because they love it. Right. I don't see that in the commercial when you got to alter yourself and so on and show up as a character to keep your investment. These are two different worlds.
Right.
So totally. That's what this discussion is about. Like, everybody's hip hop anniversary is not everybody's anniversary, dog. Right. Don't get caught up into that. And if you do, if you're going to celebrate 50 years, sift out the real and know why you're celebrating and giving flowers to whoever you're giving flowers to, man. Just don't hand the shit off. Yeah. It shouldn't be an easy thing to give. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit takes consideration, man.
We like celebrating shit, though. People just like, sometimes we don't even know what the fuck we celebrate. We just like, you know what I mean? We like popping circumstances. We like doing that shit. So sometimes people just get caught up. And then you ask somebody what you celebrate, you can see somebody in the crowd, oh, I heard he was good or some shit. Like, you don't even fucking know, man. So
yeah, man.
One thing I want to get into before we go, very important part, I'm going to finish up with this, is the cultural aspect of how, and so for us, man, carrying the culture, behind us is the four elements of hip hop, and assimilated through knowledge and being the fifth element. And it's like, I came into it as a B-boy. The DJ, for me, is the foundation of this shit. Nobody's doing anything if the DJ's not putting it down out there. Like, and all that, everything, the graffiti stands alone. And all this stuff came later. So I'm seeing shows with Wu-Tang, EPMD, dope. Mm-hmm. Maxwell, Tyrese. word.
Yeah.
And I thought of you because our conversation about the R&B shit. And I'm seeing all shows with a bunch of dope MCs.
Right.
No DJs.
Right.
No. If any year you're gonna celebrate all the elements, it would be this year. Graph, like you would have all sorts. You'd have Rocksteady, you'd have everybody. New York City Breakers there,
Yeah.
everything.
And that's politics.
That's the thing that's killing me right now, man, as a lover of, you know, participant of this culture, is that it's just like, okay, rap.
Correct. That's like a shut up and dribble type of approach. When you don't bring all the elements out, it's like, yo, just come do your little songy thing. I'm not paying for your DJ to come and have another hotel room for y'all to be on for 5 to 10 minutes. That's how that becomes. So this is politics. Look, if I hired an opera singer that has a certain kind of instrument, motherfucker, that makes him go, you're not going to tell me, oh, I just need him for one song, and we're just going to have the track playing in the back and so on. No, that nigga needs his violin motherfucker sitting on a chair to make that shit go. And if you're throwing an authentic show and you had enough money to pay for 50 artists or whatever the fuck y'all are doing, and you're celebrating the anniversary of it all, then these people are here to see that. Don't give it half-ass. You know, you're not going to pay for the whole goddamn crew, but you're going to pay for the elements that keep it righteous. You know, so it's up to the groups to get along, do their business correctly, so many things, because a lot of these cats don't even fuck with each other anymore. Again, these were teenage groups, and if they weren't successful and you had one song and then they want to call you for some shit, like you achieved like multiple albums and shit, nigga, you done had 1-2 songs, but yet it's hip-hop, and now you gotta act like you getting along. Y'all fighting over the little biscuit that this nigga done give you, because you ain't gonna get no real money for no one fucking song. Come on, man. This kind of bullshit. You couldn't come together and improve your group before somebody had to honor you for being a one-hit wonder or some shit, man? This fucking clown shit. I don't participate in no shit like that. I told him, I said, yo, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do my own. And when I want to. Just like I did, I didn't ask for nobody permission to do Pill, man. I did that shit. And I bought the people that I felt was righteous, man. Right. And they rocked and they did their fucking thing.
Right.
People have to start taking shit more serious, dog. You know, I'm not Mayweather or none of these niggas with that kind of bag and whatnot, but I'm always going to continue to smash, my nigga. Period. Any motherfucker know me. I don't be waiting for no invite from them fools. These are motherfuckers who was dogging the kind of music that I was building. We was uplifting people, dog. And now you want to tell me that you want to see ass and titties over fucking building? Y'all finding out all this history, motherfuckers call us immigrants after all that slave shit. Pat you on your head and call you a fucking immigrant in America, says slave was beneficial to you niggas? And you want to tell me that intelligence is not needed on music, man? Fuck that, man. On everything, I always will rhyme. I always will fucking be building on something to put intelligence back into our people, my nigga, because it's crazy right now. Hip hop is powerful enough, man, to make people change their clothing and their thinking and shit. You can't just give that baton to any motherfucker, man. You handing out Harry Potter wands at these labels and shit to fucking goblins and bitches, man. And that shit is tiring, my lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it on the real, man. I get amped with it because, you know, I do give a fuck for real, you know? I'm just sad that we lost the battle, man, and people are just not admitting that. We can't win in that world. Rap and hip-hop do not mix. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody's singing on your hook does not mean it's pop music. You can get soulful singers and chat and all kind of elements of music in your hooks to make it more song value. You don't always have to do your shit like them. You know, be proud of your kinky hair in your lyrics and don't try to straighten your shit out and to look like somebody else, man. You know, I just keep it there 100, Gar.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to end, man. Before we do get out of here, you know, what are you trying to get into these days? Let people know, you know what I'm saying? Because so again, we do this every month, every first Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
We have to change. All 30 shows are on our YouTube channel, the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel. Links in our profile. So we do this. So Brother Jay is, again, he's not. You may not be putting out an album every other week, you know, but you are around, and we're still carrying the torch. So what
my Lord.
what are you getting into? What are you looking at down the road?
Well, I've been in school learning this production, man. I respect things. I don't pick up a camera and claim that I'm Steven Spielberg. You know, you got to do homework. And I've been into a lot of that around building this documentary. I feel that was like my missing enzyme, that I didn't have the skills of what it takes to really be a producer of a project like that. So I took the time out to learn some things from some of the experts I work with. And I feel now I'm giving a better presentation on the life and times of X-Clan. So they can see that, and my music will be released with these things, because music is not of value anymore. If you don't have a product behind it, it doesn't make sense. So, when you participate in the documentary, it'll make you think like, what the hell is on the mind of somebody like this when it comes to rhyme after you see this documentary.
Wow.
I think it will draw them. So this is my stubbornness that keeps the music out. I didn't want to go to iTunes and pick my shit up. I didn't want to go that route. I want to do something where I can get a brand that is well known by people that still buy music, that has an audience, so I don't have to fight uphill trying to find out where the fan base is. I felt the machine should be attached to what we're doing. So as we decide, I feel like a free agent, like I'm Kawhi or LeBron or something, like, what team will harness the superpower that I have right now, my dog, because I am ready to give it to the folks, man. So I just keep it current, and, I flash people back to the past, which was the future when we dropped it. So, so they're enjoying a lot of stuff that we did. I throw little snippets on my pages and whatnot, but, I don't think they have an idea of the kind of production that I want to give to people as far as the blueprint for consciousness.
Dope. So, yeah, so that's what's up, and I'm glad that you're working on it. Here's the thing. Part of me wants, because I know you got shit ready to, you can just drop right now, and I'm like, ugh!
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get it. And for the type of music that you make, you don't want that just tossed out in the ether, like, okay, here we go in a week. Because, you got like, okay, the biggest commercial artists right now, Nas or whoever, Jay-Z, they'll drop an album. People are talking about it for a week, and after that, it's gone.
Yeah,
so
because you're already paid.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? When he got signed to that brand, whatever money they put you to be still is good enough for you just to keep recording and just throw it out. It's like, come on, homies using the industry like mixtapes right now.
Yeah.
Am I bullshit?
Nah, it's facts all day.
That's basically what it is. You're using the industry like, like mixtape, dog, and you can just throw it out because in your mind, what is it doing on the shelves if it's not serving me? You know what I'm saying? People just worshiping your name from the past and riding dick from the past, and you got a whole new spirit to your shit that you want to give to the folks. So why y'all holding it, and stop giving it to all these little mediums that don't care about you? Whoever's in their drawers at home running a DistroKid or any of these other fucking brands and shit, you have the power to go out there and promote. If you dope, then go do your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get out there, and when other people believe, then you can really pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, I'm meant for this.
Right.
Too much virtual belief and a craft that's not there for a lot of people, man. This is where the oversaturation is, dog. That's why it's fucked
your
up.
own head, and
man. Start using their own fucking head, my lord.
We'll end with that, and so I want to thank everybody for rocking with us. This was a very important one. They all are, and it's the hour goes by way too quickly. But thank you, man. That was dope shit. And
I enjoyed the topic, man. Give thanks for that, brother.
Yeah, it was a good one. Unfortunately, I wish we didn't have to talk about it, to be honest with you. I wish we could say, man, isn't this a really great year where we're all galvanized and coming together and working together, and but we're seeing like the bullshit, and it's just more bullshit.
Yeah, so, bro, it's division. It's African and black. Which one? Hip hop.
Yeah, facts. Real quick, for those of you, some of you said you missed it. All of these joints are going to be on our YouTube channel. We'll do a clip in a few days, but all of our past builds are on the YouTube channel again. So rock with the YouTube, man. Everything there, all 30 shows. We just did one on like technology and hip hop. We You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
we're talking about very important topics, man. Like, you know what I mean? I sit here and smoke it on brother J Rock. So you freestyling. But yeah, man. So thank you. Thank everybody. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for being in. We appreciate you, man. Like, you don't have to be Howard. You know, we're here.
Blessings, family. And thank you everybody for joining us and staying with us, man.
For real.
Thank you, God, for the good topics and everything, man. Give my regards to your family, man.
Same here, man. Episode 31 in the books. We'll be doing it again next month. First Wednesday of every month. So we'll see y'all in September. Salute.
Indeed. Peace,
All
God.
right. 100.